Hello and welcome. In this clip, we will share the design method for this QR code in the aesthetic way you see, while preserving the readability of the QR code. The most important thing about a QR code is that it needs to be readable. The scanner should read it easily, and that's the most important thing. The aesthetic addition gives us attractiveness and makes people scan it, and adds credibility, especially if there's a logo. But this doesn't mean the QR code shouldn't be clearly readable. First thing, we'll present it in this form. We'll focus in this clip on this specific form, and we'll try to keep the video brief. In upcoming videos, we'll see all the details of the other shapes and all the additions. First, you'll notice that the QR code has the markers, which are these, and there are many parts to a QR code, including the data. The data are these squares that are usually black. And this shape here, the alignment pattern, helps in reading the QR code if it's viewed from different angles or shapes. For example, if it's circular or viewed from a different angle, we can read it easily. That's why it's better in designs that include a background logo. It's better to add these shapes in this specific way. We shouldn't leave them in the standard data format, as you can see here. Okay, let's get started. Go to File. Let's get the script. Let's start. Click on the script. As you can see, there are many panels in the script, including the data we'll enter into the QR code, and there's a settings panel. First, let's take the website I want to use for the example. Let's use, for instance, just Google in this example, or any link. Later, we'll see all the other panels, and I'll click Save Default so that it remembers this information and these settings for every use. I'll choose the foreground color. Here, I've chosen this color I have here. And for the background, I'll choose white. For error correction, I'll leave it on auto until I explain it in detail. For the size, I'll set it to 100 millimeters, which is 10 centimeters. The levels, forced version, I'll leave at 0 so it automatically chooses the best suitable level. In case the QR code isn't read properly with this kind of background shape, then I can increase the correction levels and even the data levels. Next, I have here the shape of the data. Its size ranges from 0 to 100. It's best to stay between 30 and 100, especially if the QR code will be printed. In this case, where there's a background image, it's best to use 35 or 40. I'll use 35. For the marker border style, I'll choose circle border. For the marker center style, I'll choose dot center. As for the option Align Patterns Use Marker Style, we select it if we want the alignment pattern to match the marker style. We said here, choose 0 for forced version to keep it automatic. And here, I can add the logo as a PNG, JPG, or even an Illustrator file. I can go directly to Browse and select my file directly, and click Save so it remains for future use. Here, if I wanted to put a logo in the center, in this spot, I'd give it a smaller size using Logo Size. But in the case of this background image style, I'll give it a logo size close to the artboard. I'll set it to 80 millimeters, 8 centimeters. Here, if I wanted to draw a shape in the center using Frame Center, I'd set a value so it creates this white area. In this case, I won't draw the center area. I'll leave Frame Center at 0. An important option here is when using a background logo, it's preferable, or actually essential, to enable Draw White Cells to help the scanners read the QR code smoothly. I'll enable Draw White Cells and click Save. This way, I've saved the information here. I'll go back to the Data tab where we'll input Google. Quickly, let me show you the other options. There's Email, there's Business Card, V-Card, which allows someone to save your contact info directly after scanning, instead of taking it from a physical business card and saving it manually. You can save it directly from the QR code. There's Message, WhatsApp, or SMS, and there's Wi-Fi. For example, someone might want to put one in a cafe or at home, making a QR code for their Wi-Fi. Anyone who scans the QR code connects directly to the Wi-Fi. Or just plain text, which is less commonly used. Let's go back to Website, and I'll click Generate. You'll notice, in less than 10 seconds, it generates the design for me. And as you can see with me, this is the resulting QR code. I can simply select these circles and give them a color from the inner design element, like this. And select this alignment pattern dot here, and give it another color, like this. Let's verify with a reader, a web-based one, not just the phone. There are readers available on the web. We'll test it like this. You see, it reads it easily. And let's also check with a phone also, to ensure that if it doesn't read well like this, we might need to add more redundancy. Going back to Illustrator, you'll notice that the pattern looks a bit sparse this way, meaning there seems to be less data. And if it's going to be printed, it's better to add more redundancy. How do we add it? Go back to the settings, and here for error correction, instead of auto, select H, 30%, meaning 30% extra redundancy. This means you have the essential information plus 30% redundant data in case of damage. If up to 30% is damaged, it can still be read. Click Generate. You'll notice now, in this case, it has more correction data, and the overall data pattern is denser. Let's repeat what we did earlier. I'll apply the colors this way. And just like that, we've created a QR code in seconds. Let's check its readability again. As you can see, it reads easily. So, that was today's tutorial for the QR code script. I hope you liked the script. I look forward to your support and feedback. And if you have any inquiries or questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Peace.